morning! We left the liveaboard yesterday and today we're off on new adventures.
We were picked up at 4 a.m. and we had a 5.5 hour with a minibus to Luxor. And now we are at the Karnak temples.
And this place is massive, it's huge. And there's so much to explore and there's so little time because we're on a guided tour. It was the only option for us to actually come here. Not a big fan of guided tour otherwise. But we're going to try to explore as much as possible in the little time that we have.
The Karnak Temple is, if I understood the thing right, for the sun, the moon and the sky, the gods. And Ramses was, and Ra is the sun god. He had 92 sons and 106 daughters. And somehow he married some of them. That was really complicated.
No different from the royal families in Europe nowadays. And we're not alone here, there are so many people, it's crazy.
In this very room there are 142 of these big columns, and there are actually flowers, lotus flowers, closed because they were under the ceiling in the shade. You can also find other columns in the temple that are open because they were out in the sun.
We got an explanation to how the ancient Egypt managed to build these massive buildings like the one behind me. As you can see, there is some remains of a mud ramp just in front of the building behind me. And just for reference, each block weighs about 2 tons, so they are massive. The way they did it was that they started from the ground by dragging the blocks on wooden rolls and then placing them. And then when they needed to go up one level, they built a mud ramp. And did the same thing. And then they increased the mud ramp so the ramp would get bigger and higher and bigger and higher. And once they reached the top, they started a decoration from the top by carving out what needed to be carved out at the top. Remove a bit of the ramp, go down one level, make the carvings on that level and proceeded all the way down to the bottom. Really clever. All in all, this is a really cool place. I wish we had way more time here. There are so many people and it's so crowded. And unfortunately, it's more annoying than beautiful after a while.
We made a quick stop at the Luxor temple. It's not included in our day trip, so a quick pop out, take some pictures and then back on the bus again.
I've not felt this touristy in a really long time. We're going to have lunch in a couple of minutes, and before that we're taking a ship across the Nile, and that's extra. So be prepared if you're doing these gate trips to check what's included and what's not. I think it's about 15 euros per person to cross the Nile, which is not what it costs.
10 euros.
Still, don't think it's 10 euros to cross the Nile. It's this wide. But it's the second time we've been in Egypt and we haven't been on the Nile yet. So we figured when in Rome.
After lunch we made a quick stop to see the Colossi of Memnon. Huge!
And it's these things here, or one of them. We're not sure. And behind, I think it's the Valley of the Kings. That's where we're going.
We have arrived at the Valley of the Kings and we are rushing through it to see at least 3 tombs.
You can see more tombs, but they cost extra. I'm not sure which one we're going to see, but I bet it's not going to be King Tut. He's probably one of the extra ones. But it's going to be so much fun. This is what we came for. So we're inside one of the tombs. Not sure whose it is, but I guess this is where the sarcophagus was.
I think it was the son to Ramses II. Since he had 96 sons, I don't know which one of them.
One of 96. What's really cool is that all the hieroglyphs and all the paintings here are so well preserved. I guess they have restored them some way.
Yes, they have. And he also said that during the ancient time, the Romans and the Greeks lived in the tombs, and they used fire to light and cook, and the smoke actually preserved the painting.
Smoking might be good. Who knew? Wonder if that's just a crazy coincidence that limestone has shipped off right there. And we're off to the next one. It should be up there somewhere. The actual tomb chamber. It's supposed to be 165 meters inside the mountain. It should be fun.
Exercising.
And we finally reached the burial chamber. Trying to discover new tombs.
Yeah, I couldn't find much though.
And now we're just gonna walk all the way back. Up there. So we're inside the third tomb. And it's supposed to be bigger than the other two. And it's just as decorated. And this is where it is. And it's bigger. All the tombs we've been in has been right here and there. So everything is really close by. And that here is the roof of King Tut's tomb. So the tomb should be down here somewhere. What do you think so far?
I think it's so interesting. I mean, there is history here that is so old, and it's hard to take in sometimes how they managed to build these tombs. They're really beautiful, really, really beautiful.
We wanted to go into King Tut's tomb as well. There's an extra charge for that, which makes sense because his mummy is inside. But
it's in euros or dollars.
And do we have euros or dollars?
Oh. And I think that if we bought the ticket, we will have like 5 minutes, and then yalla yalla, we will go again.
So no King Tut for us. Doesn't matter though, because we've seen all the treasures from the tomb in Cairo 17 years ago. I think we have one more stop to do before heading back up north to Hurghada. I think it's a temple. I'm kind of embarrassed how little we know about this day trip. But it's been fun so far. Fast, but fun. So what's special about this temple, except for the really complicated backstory of queens marrying their stepsons, weird stuff, that it's actually carved out of the rock. So it's not built. And that's the only temple that's carved out of the rock here apparently. Check it out. That's it for today's vlog. It's been such a fun day exploring Luxor. I wish we had way more time here because there's so much to see. If that's not the case, now we have a 5-hour ride back to Hurghada. Don't forget, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this vlog. We would really appreciate it. See you in the next one. Bye bye.